Hey guys, so in today's video, we are going to be looking at what I like to call the history of Dragon Ball Team. Now, what I kind of wanted to do was make this like a little bit of a pseudo tribute to the kind of lore of Dragon Ball, and what is the most iconic thing to come out of Dragon Ball, maybe aside from the Super Saiyan, it is the Kamehameha. So today we are going to be running the Kamehameha team, and we're just going to be going into some event, like a moderately hard event, maybe not, but what we're going to be doing, like I said, is running the Kamehameha team, and the goal of this team was to set it up so we covered the entirety of Dragon Ball in some way, shape, or form. The only thing we will not be covering in this specific video is movies, just based on kind of how it worked. I wanted to go with the original continuity of Dragon Ball, starting from OG Dragon Ball going all the way to Dragon Ball Super. So I'll give you the start for the Cell Saga. Obviously, this guy is the leader of the team, so we're going to start here. Then we'll move on to the Saiyan Saga. So we don't want to talk about the units, I just want to talk about who I'm bringing from each saga, and we'll start from there. Okay, so starting from the OG Dragon Ball, we are going to be using Kid Goku from this portion of the story. I thought that this would be a proper representation, as Path to Power Kid Goku might be the better unit, but he is from a movie. So this Kid Goku, I think, is going to be the proper way to do it. So this is who we're going to be using. Let's move on to the Saiyan Saga. The Saiyan Saga, we will be using Kaioken ×4 Kamehameha. STR-LR Goku at this point. This guy has aged out a decent bit, but again, a proper representation for the Saiyan Saga, kind of the big boy attack that happens, you know, King Kai telling Goku never, I believe it's never take it past ×2, and Goku's like, I'm gonna do ×3 at one point, and then I'm gonna do ×4, and King Kai's, you know, like, no, and Goku's like, I gotta do it, I gotta send it, and this obviously, this puts him in a bit of a bad spot against Vegeta. So Saiyan Saga, we're gonna be using Kaioken Goku. I think you all knew who was coming for the Namek Saga. The iconic, you fool, Bakayato, Namek Goku. This guy's seen better days, but that's not what this video is about. It's about paying homage, right? And the Namek Saga, some would deem to be Toriyama's best work alongside the Cell Saga. That's not what this video is about. This video is just to appreciate it. So Namek Saga in LR Namek Goku is going to be our representation. We already talked about the Cell Saga, so let's move on to the Buu Saga. Okay, so keep in mind we do have to get the transformation off for this specific instance, but Super Saiyan 3 is going to be the representation we have for the Buu Saga, as this is like the Kamehameha. I felt that Super Vegito didn't make a ton of sense for this specific thing, but we could have done that if we wanted to. But Super Saiyan 3 is who I'm going to be going with, so this is going to take a few turns, but not the end of the world. We will have Super Saiyan 3 covering the Buu Saga. Let's get into Dragon Ball Super. The pinnacle of power from Dragon Ball Super, basically, Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is who we're going to be using the 6-year EZA that recently just came out on JP. We're going to be using to represent Dragon Ball Super, as this is kind of the big boy form to end the series off, and I felt that this would be the appropriate representation for that. So here's the team in its glory. We have, like I said, representation for all the major arcs, except for the way Dragon Ball Super kind of worked. I just wanted to do the face of Super, just because I felt that that was the best way to do it, because we would have to make a whole separate team if we wanted to do that. So we go from Dragon Ball, we stay in a lot of Dragon Ball Z, and then we go to Super. So that's what we're going to do. Dragon Ball is an amazing series, one of, if not my favorite of all time. Let's go ahead and take this into an event and have some fun. Alrighty, so this is one of these cases where we actually can get a little bit of a buff in. We're also going to bring Tech 23rd World Tournament Goku, just to get the Goku versus Junior fight in there. We might as well just toss that in as well. So here's the team we're going to be doing. We're going to go into the GT Red Zone Stage 6, where we go against the Shadow Dragons, because it's a long event, and we'll have plenty of time to kind of mess around with these active skills and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in. So right away with rotations, I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I think what I want to do is float off AGL Ultra Instinct Goku, just because he's going to be like the main powerhouse of this specific setup, and I don't want him to sort of steal the show and make the event go by too quick. So what we will do is we'll make sure we have active skills and stuff like that off in case we get to use them, and we'll get to hop in and sort of, I guess maybe what we can do, as I'm kind of like freestyling this as I record it, is sort of talk about maybe my favorite moment from all of the sagas that we've started with, right? Now, when it comes to OG Dragon Ball, I want to say it's definitely World Tournament, the 23rd World Tournament, where Goku and Junior fight. I think that is a phenomenally done fight, and I'm really glad that it got the representation from Golden Week last year, and not to mention, those units were also extremely, extremely good. Some of the best TURs in the game, really, and even still to this day, I think Junior and 23rd World Tournament Goku have held up pretty well. I don't want to go into too many specific details, like with all that, because the video would be too long, but I think, especially when it comes to the 23rd World Tournament, one of the funnier things that came out of that was like, I'm sure some of you guys have seen this video, and I thought this was just kind of funny. Oh, let's watch this. Sometimes it just kind of works out. I kind of forgot that we had those on, but as I was saying, this is kind of just like a meme that came out of this where like Goku, I'm sure most of you have seen this video, and if you haven't, I guess that's okay. But like Goku is like running at Piccolo trying to do like a diversion, and then for some reason, like it's just funny, he just goes up and kisses him for some reason. It's like he doesn't actually kiss him, but like a picture of those two kissing pops up, and I just thought it was really funny. But like you just talk about like a fight that has so many things that like could be referenced from within a within like animations. Like they still have so much to pull from that fight that they still haven't done yet, right? And OG Dragon Ball, like I didn't really watch it as a kid, and going back and rewatching that, I would definitely say that was my favorite moment of it. But let's go ahead and move on to the Saiyan Saga. Now, I think my favorite scene from the Saiyan Saga, man, that's tough. The Saiyan Saga's got a lot. Man, I think it's the beginning of the fight between Goku and Vegeta. I think the sequence of like, you know, Goku telling Vegeta like with hard work, you know, the low class can even surpass the elite and stuff like that. And the idea that like this notion that Vegeta has where it's like this fight should not be happening. And it's almost like he feels disrespected that he's got to be fighting a guy like of the power level that Kakarot is and stuff like that. And just that whole fight was a lot of fun, right? Where we kind of got like we had such a long build up with that, where it's like the whole time we're expecting Vegeta to be like worlds above Nappa, and it turns out that he actually is. But Goku is giving him like a huge run for his money, and that made it like really intense. Where it's like, oh my goodness, like, you know, Goku's really going like blow for blow with this guy, and we had just seen how strong the Cybermen were, how strong Nappa was, how strong even Raditz was when he made his initial appearance, right? And like it didn't matter, like Goku with that training and stuff like that had even managed to, you know, go, you know, like I said, pound for pound, blow for blow with even a guy like Vegeta, who at that point was like basically the strongest that we had seen, if I'm not mistaken. So it just goes to show you, like, that's like the growth that Goku had that had made that was really inciting, like, and just like it's hard to put it into words because I'm trying to unlock like all these core memories as I'm talking about it, but like honestly, now that I think about it too, it's like the Goku showing up and just like making making Nappa just look stupid. That was also really satisfying because like we had seen what Nappa had done to everybody up to that point, right? Where he had he took everybody out. Like he would have taken Gohan out. He took out Piccolo. He took out Tien. He forced Chaozu to take himself out and stuff like that. And he was a really formidable foe, and it's that can't go understated, right? So that is something to remember. That like that beatdown that Goku gave Nappa was really satisfying. But while I'm talking about that, let's go ahead and transform our homie Goku. All right, thank you, Goku. I appreciate that. But yeah, so Saiyan Saga, I kind of talked about that for a lot. It's tough because I have to go back and really like I have to lock in and memorize not even memorize, but like unlock my core memories of Dragon Ball and like what my favorite sequences were and stuff like that. So that one was pretty tough, but the Namek Saga definitely is not. The whole sequence for me of Goku powering down and basically telling Frieza like you're embarrassed, you're done, your will is broken, you've embarrassed yourself and stuff like that. I think that has to definitely be my favorite moment, and he gives him some, like Goku giving Frieza some of his energy to the dismay of people like King Kai and stuff like that watching the fight, like, what the hell are you doing? And Goku's like, you know, give it up, never inflict evil or harm upon others ever again. And then obviously Frieza even being shown mercy after Goku gives that extremely like passionate speech back to him when Frieza begs for mercy, right? And then Goku is like, you know, tells him like, how many people have begged for mercy that you've taken out, and how many times have you not shown it? And even despite that, Goku still shows mercy to Frieza, just showing the character that he is, where you have to be beyond irredeemable like beyond, like I said, like you've proven time and time and time and time again that you are not redeemable. That is the only way that Goku is going to, like, you know, not show, like, you know what? How about I just let Goku show it off for us, because I don't know if I'm going to get another opportunity to do that in this fight. So how about we let Goku explain what I'm trying to talk about for me in real time. Maybe the best panel in Z. The frown shot is one of the best for sure. So, with that being said, we will move on to the Cell arc. But just to kind of cap off what I'm talking about, the sequence of Goku showing mercy to Frieza, and then Frieza showing that he is beyond irredeemable, only to be met with one of the most satisfying ki blasts in all of Dragon Ball, is definitely my favorite moment from the Namek Saga. So. Let's continue to move on to the Cell Saga. This one's super easy. We talked about this in the thank you to Toriyama video. I'm sure if you guys have not watched that, go ahead and check it out if you want my my closing, or not even my closing thoughts, but my kind of thank you and words that I had to speak on with, like, the legacy that he left behind and stuff like that. It was I wanted to take my time and make sure I said the things that I said in that video, right? But the memory that I had the most of the Cell Saga, or my favorite sequence, was definitely when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 and then continues, or just goes berserk on the Cell Juniors, right? That was by far and away my favorite sequence from the Cell Saga, because, like I said, like when I was talking about Frieza being beat down being satisfying, or Nappa's beat down being satisfying, Gohan just unlocking a new level of power and showing off this feat that we had yet to see from him, like, ever, was one of the most satisfying things, like, I can remember. And also it was just, like, crazy, right, that Goku had even put Gohan in this position to begin with, and not only did he exceed expectations, maybe he even exceeded Goku's expectations with how strong he became, right? Like, Goku will want to say that, like, he saw this coming, but a part of me thinks that deep down he didn't even see all this coming out of Gohan, and Gohan being pushed past, like, the limit and just wanting to, protect others around him, right? If you guys know me, you know I'm a big fan of Ichigo from Bleach, right? And his whole dynamic is like, I just want to protect people around me, right? And Gohan in that same moment is kind of exhibiting a similar, quality, right? This isn't to say that, like, I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm just trying to draw maybe not in the comparison, but I'm trying to draw the similarity, right? The character dynamic that I like about Ichigo is also shown in this moment from Gohan. And this obviously happens before Bleach, so you know how that goes. But Gohan just, like I said, being pushed past the breaking point with what's the word? With how Cell treated his loved ones and stuff like that. I thought that was just really, like, a beautiful sequence. Just the soundtrack, the voice acting, the moment itself, like I said, Gohan just unlocking this new form and then going absolutely ham with it would 100% be my favorite moment from that series. So, or from that saga. Excuse me. So now we can kind of move on to the Buu Saga a little bit. Now, the Buu Saga, my favorite moment from the Buu Saga, that's a good one. For me, I think it's Super Vegito fighting Buhan. I think that would be my number one moment from that series, or from that saga, because up to that point, Buu had seemed pretty invincible and never really was on the ropes. Maybe like Super Saiyan 3 versus Fat Buu was like one time where you're like, oh, okay, maybe we do have a chance here, or maybe the beginning, like when Gotenks fought him, like we thought that maybe Gotenks was the key, and it turned out none of that was true. But even with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you're just like, you could just see it, like even with that iconic transformation scene that lasted what felt like an eternity, right? Like 5 minutes of just Goku screaming. And, we get all that in one little sequence or whatever, and then Goku transforms into this just like obscene looking, like, really just crazy looking form. You're like, what in the world am I looking at, right? I think that scene, or not that scene, but like up until that point, like Buu had felt like he was just an insurmountable, right? Like it didn't matter what they did, all the different techniques, right? Vegeta's final explosion, Gotenks, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, even up to that point, right? And all the fighting, Ultimate Gohan didn't work. It's just everything that they were trying just would not work. And then Super Vegito comes in and just makes Boo look silly, right? And I know Vegito doesn't win the fight, but that was for a reason, because everybody was trapped inside of Boo. So they didn't really have a choice, right? They had to, they went in, like, Vegito went inside of Boo for a reason, right? It wasn't just for fun, it was to get everybody out. Because he didn't want to kill Boo and then in the process kill. The only reason they fused was for the people that Boo had, right? It wasn't just because, like, Vegeta was very tough to convince to go and do the fusion, but, like, Trunks being there, Bulma being there, everybody, like, go watch Goku's speech to Vegeta, and I think you'll really get, like, a good grasp on just what I'm talking about with what this Goku, or not with Goku, but what, like, the significance of fusing was at that point, right? Like, this was the absolute last thing that Vegeta wanted to do, and they didn't have a choice, right? They had to do it. And so, you know, Vegito just absolutely laying the smackdown on on Buhan really was satisfying, right? And I keep mentioning that, like, a satisfying beatdown of a villain is always fun, just because, like, that's something you've been waiting for a long time, and when you finally get that dosage of it, right? I think that is something that is just so good, and that is what we get with Vegito versus Buhan. You just get to see, like, what almost feels like a play fight to Vegito, right? Like, it's like, it never really feels like it's that serious at some points. Like, the only time it really feels like Vegito gets, like, beyond serious is when he's, like, when Boo is, like, he gets, like, really angry and starts doing, like, that, it's like, I don't even know what the word is. It's like he's gonna blow himself up, right? And then Vegito's kind of got to, like, pierce through that, like, barrier that he forms, which he actually does, which is really funny. And he gets through that, and we get to see, what's it called? I don't know why I can't talk all of a sudden. We get to see just how on, like, another level that Vegito is up until that point. So that was definitely my favorite moment in the Boo saga, just because that fight is also so long and there's so much to pull from it, and you just get to, it's just like one of those things I'm never gonna forget, right? And also I think the "You Are Number One" speech is up there for me as well. That one is just the kind of full circle of Goku or Vegeta's character development as well. I think that is really important to I hold near and dear to me. Even though it kind of gets undone in Super a little bit, but Vegeta, like him, like even like after the Cell Saga, right? He talks about like how I'm not a warrior and I'll never fight again, but he has to because of what the Boo saga, the Boo threat is. And then he has to do the same thing for, you know, in Super, because Goku is taken off and Vegeta's like, you're not getting that far ahead of me, pal. So that is kind of how it works, right? But the "You Are Number One" speech, Vegito versus Buhan, great fights, the Majin Vegeta final explosion, one that I can't forget. There's just so many that I couldn't fit them all into one video, right? But Dragon Ball Super has to be the third round of Goku versus Jiren for me. After everybody is done, essentially, and Goku's the only one left, aside from 17 and Frieza, obviously, but we don't know that at that point. Like, 17 and Frieza are kind of just off in La La Land doing their own thing. But with that being said, what's it called? Goku going into UI for the third time and then having a continuous fight and then going into the form of Mastered Ultra Instinct, and then just that sequence of fighting where he's just showing off all these crazy moves. He keeps getting back up even after Jiren gives him hell, and just continues to fight is really just something that is special. And especially when Jiren just decides, like, you know, to hell with this, and throws the blast at the Universe 7 beam bench up in the Tournament of Power Arena, Goku knocking that away and getting pissed off is just, it's Goku getting pissed off is a sight to behold, right? If there's a compilation of YouTube on that, just watch it. Like, when Goku breaks character and really takes things serious, it is a sight to behold, right? You think about when Zamasu tells him about Chi-Chi and Goten. You think about, when else is Goku like? Goku doesn't get angry often, right? You think about the "You Fool." You think about what he does against Nappa because of what he did to Tien, Chaozu, Yamcha, and all that. Not even Yamcha, but you guys know what I mean, the Cybermen. But Yamcha still perished in that sequence, and everybody just kind of being, you know, harmed and stuff like that. I think that is really like a special thing of Goku, just like, you know what? Like, I like to be the nice guy. I like to show mercy, but I can't do that. But really. With all that being said, that was my favorite sequence of Super, UI vs. Jiren. I mean, UI vs. Jiren is just so iconic now. One of the most, like, you know, like I said, one of the more crazy fights of this last decade, right? So, yeah, that's basically it for this video. I just wanted to talk about things that I like about Dragon Ball and just kind of show, maybe not my fandom, but just talk about the things that I liked a lot, and really just kind of deep dive into the fun moments from Dragon Ball that I'm never going to forget. hopefully throughout my lifetime, right? Because the work that Toriyama did and things that he showed me and lessons that I learned from these characters, I can't get it all into in one video, but they taught me a lot, and they kind of shaped me into the person that I am today, and I really do appreciate that. And like I said, Toriyama's work's forever going to live on for me, and hopefully he did the same for you guys as time went on. So that's all I got for you in today's video. Just wanted to talk about Dragon Ball and stuff like that. Let me know down below what some of your favorite moments of Dragon Ball were, what some of the memories are that you might have forgotten about until you really started to think about it now. Leave a like on the video if you have not already. Subscribe if you are new for more Dokkan content like this, and hopefully I'll see you guys all in the next one. Long live Dragon Ball, long live Toriyama. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.